Hi, and welcome to Prepping Essentials.
Good morning, it's 7 o'clock on Saturday the 18th of April. Just on my way down to the land. Bit cool this morning. As always, not quite sure what we'll get done until we start, but let's find out. Well, here we are down in the land, and as you can see, it's only just gone 7, but already we've got a little bit of sun peeking out onto the field. It is a bit of a cool breeze though, I have to say. It's been a little bit wet and windy overnight, and it's forecast for a bit of rain later today, but we'll not let that disrupt from what we're doing. So I'm just going to get myself unlocked and organised, and then we'll see what we can get done today. Certainly one of the jobs this morning is get some watering done in the polytunnel, and I might have a cunning plan for these raised beds rather than having all this chicken wire wrapped around them, but we'll see a little bit later on.
Before I start the video this morning, I just wanted to have a few words about the title. Because of the COVID-19 lockdown, it's really difficult now getting materials to make progress with the cabin build. I can get some little bits and pieces off eBay, which I am doing, but delivery times are really slow. But worse than that, the DIY stores are closed. They do have some click and collect for limited numbers of items. It's essentially emergency home repair stuff for plumbers and builders and such like. So I'm having real difficulty getting wood, and I do need quite a bit more of it. I've managed to get some recycled stuff, and I'll use some of that today, but it is really slowing me down, and it's damn frustrating. But anyway, enough of the moaning, let's get on with what we got done today.
Just been checking up on the wildlife feeder to see how much food's in there. It does want refilling. Squirrels keep chucking it all on the floor, but it does feed the ground birds, so I'll not complain too much. Anyway, let's get this filled up, then I can get some work done in the cabin. So we're in the polytunnel, and to be fair, everything's coming up quite well. In terms of watering, I don't actually think these carrots are going to need any. They look to have held the water quite well, apart from perhaps this one, which could maybe benefit from a little spraying. The larger tubs and seed trays do need, definitely, and especially that tomato one at the end. So yeah, let's crack on with that and get a bit of watering done. Carrots are looking quite well now, definitely coming on well. I think it'll be a couple of weeks before we see any movement in this cucumber tray, but I don't think it'll be long before these broccoli and cauliflower are are getting put out into the bed outside. Even the little tray in this broccoli here that I thought wasn't germinating, some of these cells, but clearly they are. There's two there that have just started to peek through. So in terms of seeds versus number of final seedlings coming out, I'm actually quite impressed with the germination rate for those seeds. Anyway, we'll just finish off this bit of watering and then we'll take a look inside the cabin. There's a few fiddly bits and bobs to do in there, but in terms of big projects I'm running out of timber and I'm not quite sure when I'm going to be able to get some, but that's another story. I had a little bit of a rethink about the raised beds there, and I've got some semicircular sheets of really quite thick ply, and the idea is, it's only a theory, the idea is we put these onto the end of the raised beds, and then we have some lats running across to a second one at the far end, maybe 3 lats, one on this side, one in the centre and one at the end, to which we attach, instead of this metal chicken wire, we attach some plastic netting and stretch it across so it forms like a dome over the top of the raised bed, and hopefully that will keep out the birds and the butterflies and the rabbits and any other critters that might be around here. So that's the theory, use these semicircular arches and overlay them with this plastic netting. Not quite sure how that's going to work out, but I guess we'll find out if we try it. While I was talking about these plywood sheets, I did notice that the potatoes have actually come through, or started coming through, in this half whiskey barrel, and lots of chits peeking through in that tub. I'll let those get a couple of inches on them, and then I'll just top up with a little bit more compost until we get gradually to the top, and then hopefully this entire tub will be filled with potatoes come harvest season. And I'll give these a few more weeks, and then I'll do the same with the next tub and then the next tub, and hopefully I'll get a succession of potatoes coming through one after the other during the year. First things first, on this on these raised beds, I've got to take down this wire netting. I did go to extra lengths to make sure this was well secured to the scaffold boards, so that's not going to be a 2-minute job, unfortunately, but hey ho, we live and learn. Try something new. If it works, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and we'll rethink and try again. Now that was painful. Well, that's the first of the raised beds done. As I say, the idea is that we run a strip of wood down the side, netting attached to that. One side can be fixed to the actual frame itself. Another lat across the centre, just fixed in place, and then bring the netting across the top of the hoop, wood to weight it down on this side, and hopefully that should keep it enclosed and away from the critters who might want to eat my veggies. So 2 more to do with the semicircles on the ends. Probably need something, since this is plywood, to run across the top of here. I'm just wondering if perhaps some split water pipe might do that. I'll have a little think while I'm finishing these other 2 raised beds. Well, that's the 3 raised beds done, with those little hoop style arches going over the sides of them. Just looking now to see what I can do to try and keep this a little bit waterproof, because it is plywood. I'm thinking if I cut some sections of hose pipe, split it with a knife, I'll be able to feed it onto the edge of these hoops. It sounds like a good idea, but as with everything, until you try it, you never know. So I'll have a little experiment and see how we get on. So I've cut a length of this blue water pipe, and I've just split it all the way along its length. So I'm going to try and see if I can feed this onto those plywood sheets. Fingers crossed. Well, that was extremely fiddly, but it works. It's wrapped over the edges there of the plywood sheet, and it's holding itself in place. I don't think I need to put any nails or screws or anything in. It's doing it all by itself. So we need another 2, 4, 5 of these. I suspect I won't have enough of that blue water pipe to finish all of them. I might have to sacrifice some old green hose pipe I've got kicking about, but we'll see how we get on. It is fiddly, so it's going to take me a little bit of time to finish this, but onward and upward. We are making progress, and that's what counts. Well, that's those 3 raised beds done. I've just edged that ply sheeting with this split water pipe, just to try and protect the plywood sheet a little bit. Hopefully that'll last for a while. I mean, if it lasts a year or two, I'll be very, very happy. For what it is, can't really expect much more since it's outside in the field. Just wondering whether it's worth popping a bit of paint onto these outside edges or not. The scaff boards are alright, they're designed to be outside, whereas the plywood sheet really isn't, so it might benefit from a quick coat of paint. I have got a tiny little bit of that cedar wood preserving paint left. I'm not sure if there's enough to do all of this, but I could have a go, I guess. I just couldn't resist. I've given the outer faces of those raised bed a quick coat of that wood preserving paint. Just a bit more protection for them. I think those strips I've made out of the water pipe will do a really good job in helping to extend the life of these when the rain comes. But I'm a bit stuck now with these because I don't have wood long enough to bridge across the two arches, so I'm going to have to call a halt to the raised beds upgrading for today until I can get the wood. There's plenty of little bits and pieces to keep me going inside the cabin. Again, I'm waiting for some supplies for that, but I can crack on and do a few bits inside, which is probably just as well, because as I look at the sky, we are starting to get the rain clouds coming, and it is forecast for rain today, so it's only a matter of time, I think, before it comes. But the outside job's done, so that's the main thing, and I'm quite pleased with that. I think that will work well, and it'll allow me to use that chicken wire for another little project later. I'm a little bit stuck today, really. It's actually started raining, so I've come in from outside and I'm busying myself doing some little odd jobs in the cabin. Popped a couple of bolts onto the cabinet for the kitchen sink and hob. I've just done a little test fit in there of the gas boiler. Idea is it'll vent out that back wall there from this 90mm outlet at the top. So that's just test fitted now. I'm waiting for some connectors to come for that. I'm waiting for lots of stuff to come, actually. Deliveries are really slow this last week. I'm just in the process of installing a light into the bathroom area. That'll go onto a switch on this wall at some point, and I'll run the cables back. So it's a little bits and bobs today. It's annoying me a little bit, to be honest, because deliveries haven't arrived, and I also don't have the wood, and I've no idea how I'm going to get that, so that I can continue making some cupboards on this far wall. But anyway, enough depression. Let's keep cracking on and get a few more bits done before it's home time. Well, that's another light wired in. I've got it wired into a little switch here, which is off at the minute. I've just put a temporary power supply on to the battery box, so if I flick the switch, there we go, we've got light and off. So we're not doing too bad in terms of lighting. We've got the lighting inside the shower and toilet area on its own little switch. We've got the external lights you saw in a previous video. Again, they're on their own internal switch. And then we've got internal lights, 2 on that wall, and then another one above the kitchen sink area. So another bit of electrics done. Time's flying by. The weather's not improving outside. It is still cold and it keeps raining on and off. I'm just going to have a bit of a tidy up in here, I think, because I don't have materials to do the other things I wanted to do. And I think it'll be soon time to pack up and go. Well, that's the cabin locked up. Not a huge amount of progress today, unfortunately. A little couple of fiddly jobs inside the cabin, and a slightly bigger job of sorting these raised beds out. To be fair, I am quite pleased with those. I just need to get some more wood, and it's a bit annoying that it's so difficult to get wood. Everything's tidied away. Wood pile is what's left of it covered up, so it's time to call it a day, and I can have an early lunch or an early dinner.
Well, that's it for this video. Not a huge amount of progress made today, but some decent progress with the raised beds. I am pleased with that new design that I've made today, and I look forward to finishing that off in another video. Hope you found something in there that was of interest to you. If you did like the video, please do click on the like button. As always, feel free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Welcome all of your comments, questions and suggestions. What do you think about the new raised beds design? Is that an improvement over that chicken wire? Let me know in the comment section below. But for now, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.